If you buy a house, you buy land, you buy condo, there's a very, very big chance after 10 years, the value is higher. When you do a business, there's a very, very big chance also, 10 years, baka wala na siya.
Tama.
What's your comment on that?
10 years, kahit nag-increase yung value ng bahay mo, ibebenta mo ba? Kasi pag di mo binenta, wala rin yun. Hindi ka rin kumita ng pera. If you're planning to live in a house for just 10 years and then sell it, and then what? Are you gonna rent or are you gonna buy another house? Because if you're gonna be buying another house, dahil nagtaas na yung property value mo, yung bibilin mo na bahay, nagtaas na rin yun.
Prioritize first, buying your own house, spending millions on it, or putting in money to start your own business?
Business, definitely. Kasi if you're going to buy a house that you're not going to be living in, it's not going to make money for you. I know a lot of people, especially people in real estate, will say that a house is an asset. In paper, yes, it is. The thing is, you cannot sell it and you cannot make money from it. If you're going to live in it, you cannot definitely rent it out. While as when you have a business that is running or that you're going to be putting money in that you know will work, that's going to be generating money for you. Money that you can use to save up and buy a house someday. Perhaps outright cash, or perhaps you're gonna loan in the bank so you have better cash flow. But definitely for me, in order to have a better livelihood, in order to have better cash flow, business, negosyo.
Loan-wise, it might be easier if you're getting a house versus a business.
But loan-wise as well, you're going to be using your house as collateral, which is, in my opinion, risky. Lalo na kung yun lang yung bahay mo, tapos wala kang negosyo to begin with. Or if you're gonna use that loan to start a business, 9 out of 10 businesses fail, it's still risky. Tapos dun sa 9 out of 10 businesses fail, that's 10% chance of winning it in business. Dun sa 10%, tinaya mo yung buong bahay mo. Kasi pinang-collateral mo eh. Whereas if you're going to loan from a business standpoint, you have your business, banks will make it a little bit more difficult for you to loan. That's true. And they would check first if you have 3 years already in the business and you have good liquidity in the bank. Pag meron ka naman good liquid sa bank mo, dun sa business account mo sa bank na yun, makakakuha ka rin naman ng loan eh. It might not be as big kasi nga, kung sa bahay, you're going to use the entire property as collateral. That property has value so you can loan more. Here in the business, you may not be able to loan more, but you can still loan without risking your house.
If you buy a house, you buy land, you buy condo, there's a very, very big chance after 10 years, the value is higher. When you do a business, there's a very, very big chance also, 10 years, baka wala na siya.
Tama.
What's your comment on that?
10 years, kahit nag-increase yung value ng bahay mo, ibebenta mo ba? Kasi pag di mo binenta, wala rin yun. Hindi ka rin kumita ng pera. If you're planning to live in a house for just 10 years and then sell it, and then what? Are you gonna rent or are you gonna buy another house? Because if you're gonna be buying another house, dahil nagtaas na yung property value mo, yung bibilin mo na bahay, nagtaas na rin yun. So yung pera mo, ano nangyari ngayon? It's the same. While if you're going to be investing it in business, you don't need to invest that much money in a business. You can split it into 2, split it into 3, start small. That's what I always say. Just start small with the business, hire yourself. You're the hardest working employee, supposedly. Try to decrease your risks that way when doing business. Don't put in all your capital in that business. Kasi kung bibili ka ng bahay ngayon, magkano bahay? Let's just say 9 million. That's a lot of businesses already because when you're gonna be starting a business, you can put in a capital of what? Pag service-based industry ka, pwede na nga yung 30,000 eh. It's not that big in terms of capital when you want to start a business, especially if you plan to start small so that it's a lot less risky for you.
Wala akong skill sa business eh. Parang baka pag nag-start ako just for the sake of starting my own business, baka malugi and it might be a safer bet to buy my own house na lang. What's your comment on that?
Kaya nandito si Marvin, no? Invest in stocks because that's a lot less risky again and it will earn you dividends or it can increase in terms of its share price over time. And that money is a lot more liquid. You can sell the stock than if you're gonna be selling property. And again, we go back to the idea of if you buy a house and you plan to live in it, there's really no way that you can make money from it. Yes, the valuation will increase, pero ibebenta mo ba?
What if bumili ka ng bahay, 2 floors, sa baba negosyo, sa taas titirahan mo? What's your comment on that?
Actually, if you could buy that, that's a pretty good deal. So if you can buy a property, that will eliminate your rent cost. So if you do have that much capital, God bless you, the opportunity is on your side.
Kasi I've seen techniques on this, no? Instead of buying a large house, you get a house still, tapos gawa ka ng 4 na apartment, yung 3 doon, pa-rent mo.
You're not buying the property to make it your home. You're buying the property to make money out of it. In that case, you look at it more as a business.
So you're actually recommending people rent na lang, tapos yung pera nila, they just start a business. Tapos yung whatever, maghulog na lang sila ng rent.
Tama. I would suggest first that if you have money to start a business and you have money to rent first, mag-rent ka na lang muna. Just rent your home. How much is rental versus how much you can make in business? Again, if let's assume that your business is average to good, you're still gonna make more from the business and you paying rent than buying a house and not making money from it. Lalo na kung ni-loan mo lang yung pambili mo ng bahay na yun, nagbabayad ka pa ng interest, that's negative cash flow for you.
When is it okay already that this is the time that I buy my own house naman? Or do you suggest na rent na sila forever?
No, if you are able to buy a house cash, so for example, you've made enough money in business to buy a house in cash, then it's time for you to buy that house. Of course, don't finish up all your liquidity in that house. Make sure that you have your safety net. How much is a safety net? It's 3 to 6 months worth of your operations expense. That's your safety net. So make sure you have the safety net intact, and then anything excess, you use it to buy the house. My suggestion is for you to loan it in the bank. That way, your cash flow is a lot healthier and you have good bank credit.
Top of your mind, siguro food or services, what do you think is a good entry-level business that people can dabble into? Na assuming na hindi naman sila magre-resign sa trabaho nila, they're just gonna do this on the side. Say, 100,000 pesos.
Definitely services, because that's something that people will always need. That's good service. If you're going to do food, for me it's a little bit riskier because with the food business, you have the expiration date and you need to sell, otherwise you're going to incur negative costs. Services is something that people will always need. In order for you to become bigger lang, your business to grow bigger, is you need to have a specific edge on the service. Either you do it really, really well or you're the best at it. But in terms of, is there still businesses that are service-based? There's a lot. There's huge opportunity to still do service-based business. And I can argue even some companies who do food and trading has an edge in service. Like if you have a restaurant, sometimes it's not about the food, but it's about the service and the experience of someone eating there that's important for them. So doing business is at the get-go service. All businesses need customers. That's the number one most important thing. Kung ang negosyo mo walang customer, walang kwenta yung business. And how you attract customers? If you have good service, you have good product, or you have good service. Now, if you don't have that much capital, or you have capital but you don't want to risk a lot of it, start with a services-based business.
By the way, Sean C has his own podcast. I'm gonna put the link below. It's called Leadership Stack. For those who want to learn more about leadership and how to be as rich as him, you can learn all about that from his podcast. Hindi, meron yan guys. Sobrang yaman. Studio mo pa lang. Oh, ganda, oh, ganda. Anyways, that's it for now. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon. Bye everyone.